Okay, good evening. And once again, we have returned to 1524 La Vista Drive, Decatur, USA. And I'm on the second floor with CME, Continual Medical Education, specifically with Continual Metrical Education with relation to the Amz5x12 pharmacochemical application mode. Okay, we have our microscope in the background here, which has been very helpful to enhance our research. All right, so far we have generated augmentin, palmitoleic acid, and we have also looked at aspirin or acetylsalicylic acid, which is in the OTC, over-the-counter range. The other two are prescription, strictly by prescription. So here we're looking at another OTC, which is Ibuprofen, and we have generated the chemical structure, and this is what it looked like, the structure, the pharmacochemical structure of Ibuprofen. And we said no, it's derived from propionic acid, which is an NSAID, or non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug. The IUPAC, or the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, the IUPAC name is now 2-4-2- methyl propyl phenyl, close bracket here, propionic acid. That's the IUPAC name for ibuprofen, and otherwise it is known as now 2-4-isobutyl phenyl propionic acid with a molecular weight of 206.28. Now, as we have said, no, ibuprofen is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug with an anti-inflammatory, analgesic, and antipyretic property or effect. Antipyretic could mean like a fever, sort of fever related. It's considered to be among the safest of the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug, and it's available by prescription and also by over-the-counter. Now, this ibuprofen acts by blocking the synthesis of prostaglandins by inhibiting cyclooxygenase, which converts the arachidonic acid to cyclic endoperoxide, precursors of prostaglandin. And the blocking or inhibition of this prostaglandins synthesis account for the analgesic, antipyretic, and platelets inhibitory property or action. Now to sort of make it related to our Amz5x12 matrix, which I've been doing over the years in the economic configuration and other application mode, we assume that ibuprofen can be abbreviated as IBU. Now, this is not to be taken as a permanent stamp for the abbreviation of ibuprofen, but just for this application or demonstration. Suppose we have IBU, and this, you notice that if 8 digits is attached to this, we have the pluses or the stars, then you'd have it in the economic or the pharmacochemical configuration. So IBU, and these pluses represent digits now, and it can be found in a brand name form of Motrin, and if we assume it abbreviated MOT, and we have the digits there, or Brufen, and the digits there. So what I've done is just give a brief description of ibuprofen, and we have generated the formula and in relation to the Amz5x12mipca. And we say now that the structural formula or the molecular formula is C13H18O2. And it has a molecular weight of 206.28 grams per molecule. And the rest is just a brief description of the properties and characteristics of this simultaneous now OTC and prescription drug. Now some of the chemicals derived or described are strictly by prescription, some are by over-the-counter. This one has this both prescriptive and OTC uses. Note in all cases that these so-called over-the-counter drugs, they can become very dangerous sometimes if they are taken for too long with overdosage. They can also cause medical complications and severe medical complications as well. So it should be taken in moderation to alleviate these domestic complications, headaches and fevers and backaches and other inflammatory effects, fever, analgesic, pain relieving, antipyretic, fever reducing, and anti-inflammatory to remove inflammation from various sites. Like for wounds and things like that, it can be also used to remove, reduce swelling and for wounds. But like it's compared with OTC aspirin, it also have severe effect if it's used for too long and if overdosage or addictive sort of usage is adapted. And once again, this is the IBU in the Amz5x12mipca mode, also MOT, and these are just temporary abbreviation to demonstrate what can happen here in the IBU. So most of the time it's used as though 250 milligrams. So if you put 250 and the rest will be 0, or if you experiment with other amounts, 125 milligram, and if you even experiment with even lesser amounts, 75 milligrams and so on and so forth. And these 8-digit significance or precision sometimes is not really significant in these form of drugs, but as will be shown in later, that certain drugs which require very little to cause malignant effects or dangerous effect, then these precision digits should be looked at for precision and efficient application of the drug in particular. So we'll take a break once more, and as we are stipulating now, we are generating random chemical formula, random pharmacochemical structures enhanced by our Amz5x12mipca, and also brief descriptions and characteristics, chemical properties, molecular formula, and IUPAC names.